And stay standing for the invocation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Almighty Father, please provide wisdom to all of us on the dais that we would make good decisions for our citizens and for the community as a whole. Also, I ask for you to look after all our men and women throughout this country and even overseas serving us, that you keep them out of harm's way. In thy name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Councilman Pasillo. Well, it's really great to see you all back after your summer break. I hope you all had a good time. I don't think I've seen many of you this summer, so I know you must have had. So we do have one thing. Councilman Stipp cannot be here this evening, so I would like a motion and a second to excuse Councilmember Stipp.
So moved. Second.
I heard a motion by Councilman Osborne and a second by Councilman Hullman. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. We do excuse him. On the communications, we have one item tonight. Staff will recognize the junior leader volunteers who assist in delivering safe and high-quality recreational programs to our community over the summer. And Mr. Michael Beadle will present. Michael?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Thank you for the opportunity to tell you a little bit about our Junior Leader program and appreciate their efforts throughout the summer to deliver our summer recreation program, our aquatics program, and also some administrative help in our office. Before I jump into the Junior Leaders, I want to give you just a little bit of brief history about it. We started the Junior Leader program with our Junior Lifeguard program, and it really was to build a pipeline from the youth who are swimming in our community to turning into prepared lifeguards to come work for us in the future. And we had that kind of age gap, that 12 to 15 age gap, where we didn't really have anything for them. They were too old for our swim lessons, and they were too young to come work for us. And so we came up with the Junior Guard program. In the past summer, we expanded that to include our summer recreation program, and so we have junior leaders at our summer recreation program. And we also have, for the first time, a junior leader in the office helping us volunteer with different administrative duties. So our program's expanding. It's in the second year, and it's a great thing to be a part of. So just to kind of give you an overview of the different programs that we have in that area. For our summer rec program, we had 434 kids in the program this year, and that was over 2 sites, and that was a 7-week and a 6-week program. So we had a packed house every day at that program. And we were at Copper Trails and Desert Thunder. You walked in any day of the week, and I mean, there were kids having fun all over the place, from arts and crafts to activities and games to field trips. I mean, we packed the house with activities and fun throughout the summer. So it was a great program, and our junior leaders were a great addition to that. And here's a couple of pictures from our summer rec program from the different sites. That was one of our field trips, and also just at our Copper Trail site, playing games and interacting with the kids. In terms of our aquatics program, we had 21,635 people through the pool for various programs throughout the summer, whether that be open swim or swim lessons, some of our teen nights at the pool, all different programs. We had a wonderfully successful program this summer, and that's over at Loma Linda Park, so it's a well-loved, well-used pool for the community. And so we obviously had to have abundance of staff, and our junior guards, again, helped with that. And that's just another picture of our pool. To jump into our junior guards specifically, at the summer rec sites, our junior guards were responsible with supplementing really what our staff and leaders were doing at the site. So they helped plan games and activities. They interacted with the kids. They supervised and helped increase our ratios. We try to keep a 1-to-10 ratio of staff to child ratio, and so our junior leaders helped supplement that ratio because they were another set of eyes, another set of hands to help out with the program. And so they were extremely supplemental in doing so. And so they got to, we had our Goodyear PD out and K9 unit to entertain the kids and talk about safety, and our junior leaders were a part of that program and getting those kids organized. And they got to have an impact on our field trips and really go interact with the kids and engage and build relationships with the kids throughout the summer. So the junior leaders were really impactful in that regard too. And then that was the end of our end of year party and kind of show that we gave for all the parents. And so our junior leaders were up there on stage dancing with the kids and doing dance routines. And so it was a great program to be a part of. And then over at the Goodyear Community Pool, our junior guards really got introduced to what it means to operate at a pool and really gave them the job skills necessary to go that next step to be a lifeguard. So when they come in for the first time and they're 15 or 16 and want to be a lifeguard, they have that skill set of, I know what it means to be around a pool. I know how to clean the deck. I know how to interact with children and their families, and so all of those things. So really the Junior Leader Program just prepares them, gives them an opportunity to build their resume, and really prepares them for a pipeline for future work, hopefully with the City of Goodyear in our recreation program. So it's really mutually beneficial in that regard. So at this time, well, first, actually, I'd like to also recognize the families. So if the families wouldn't mind standing up. Like I mentioned, most of these youth are 12 to 15, so they can't really get around on their own. So the family support is hugely instrumental because they're the ones, they're the ones getting up early and driving them to and from the different summer rec sites and to the pool and different things at all hours of the day. So we really appreciate their support of our Junior Leader Program as well. And then again, at this time, I'd like to bring up all of our junior leaders and to be recognized. And that's Abria Steele, Aiden Fraga, Alex Holliday, Alexandra Hewells, Ariana Athon, Ashton Meyer, Cameron Henderson Cole, Cole Smokoff, Ella Marshall, Jorge Quinones, Julian Privet, and Xiomara Lara Chavarria.
Wow.
And if I could request,
Have them stay there.
can you guys stay up here if I could request?
Yes, if they would all stay there, because the council is going to have a lot to say to you young people, so I don't want to take that opportunity away from them. So, Michael, are you finished with your presentation?
I am.
First of all, I didn't introduce you as the recreational superintendent. I'm very sorry about that, but we are just thrilled by all of this. So I'm going to start right down here. Councilman Pizzillo.
You know, it's great to see all of you getting involved in your community. And I know sometimes I sound like a broken record up here, but you are what makes this community great. People stepping up, filling in, volunteering, making it instead of just a collection of homes, actually neighborhood, a community. So again, from the bottom of my heart, I thank you all and wish you well in any endeavors you do in the future.
Vice Mayor?
I just want to say thank you to all of you young people for what you do and for helping the other kids. And you really learn a lot that way and just helping our community. And thanks to all the moms and dads and parents and big brothers and sisters out there that made this possible for this learning experience. Oftentimes you just hear about bad things that happen and everything. And I wish the West Valley View would pick this up because you guys are a great group of young people, and I'm so proud of you.
Well said. Councilman Holman.
Whoops.
It's going to be flashing either way. We forgot to tell you. Sorry.
Okay. I'm sorry. I should have been more prepared. Again, it's kind of repetitive, but we always want to take the opportunity to thank the families and particularly those that were involved in the activity. I really hope you had as much fun as it looked like people were having. I hope that part of it was a win-win and that the learning experience fortunately will carry with you for a very long time. So thank to each and every one of you for making Goodyear a better place.
Councilman Campbell.
What a great opportunity for each one of you to learn what it is to be in the real workplace and to see how everyone interacts at a pool. They kind of go crazy when they see the water. Thank you for keeping everyone safe, and thank you for being such good stewards with our boys and girls who have come to the after-school program for the summer. It was really important that we have folks give us a hand, and y'all were wonderful, and we want to thank you. And thank you to Park and Recreation for being so innovative with this program. I hope to see this every year, and I hope to see every one of you actually being a lifeguard at our pool someday. So thank you very much, and good luck in school.
Councilman Osborne.
Well, guys, I'll tell you, besides being an elected official, I'm also a business owner. And leadership is a quality that your future employers will be looking for. And so you have started off on the right foot. And I can also say to your parents that these are great things that you are showing for your resume for college. So congratulations to you guys, and I appreciate everything that you've done. I also hope that you will continue on looking at leadership, and you might apply for the Goodyear Youth Commission, okay? Have a great school year. Thanks for everything you do.
Well, the last is the mayor always, but so much has been said tonight. So I want to, you've started your life off right by volunteering to learn new things and be involved with your city. And parents, you know, that's what makes our city so great, is the cooperation from the parents, all the citizens and the businesses. And there isn't a way to thank you for this. So it's overwhelming. So again, and thank you for the new program, just super. Now, it's time for picture taking. So if you line up right over here on this curve, they're going to take a picture with the council.
Vacant with them gone.
It does, doesn't it?
Pretty great.
Yeah, it really.
How's that?
Yep.
Give them a moment. Right now is the time for citizens who would like to address the city council on any non-agenda item. Do you have any cards?
No, Mayor.
Is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak? All right. With that, we'll go on to the consent agenda. Will the city clerk please read the consent agenda items 6.1 through 6.7 by title only, please?
Item 6.1, approve draft minutes from a regular meeting and a special meeting held on July 11th, 2016, and a regular meeting held on July 18th, 2016. Item 6.2, adopt resolution number 16-1759, approving the second amended and restated development agreement for Paseo Place Parcel 1 regarding the development of an approximate 40-acre parcel generally located at the northwest corner of Yuma Road and the 183rd Avenue alignment, providing for authorization and direction to take actions and execute documents necessary to carry out intent of resolution and the second amended and restated development agreement for Paseo Place Parcel 1 and providing for an effective date. Item 6.3, adopt resolution number 16-1757, approving the second amended and restated development agreement for Paseo Place Parcel 2 regarding the development of an approximate 80-acre parcel generally located at the southeast corner of Yuma Road and the 183rd Avenue alignment, providing for authorization and direction to take actions and execute documents necessary to carry out intent of resolution and the second amended and restated development agreement for Paseo Place Parcel 2 and providing for an effective date. Item 6.4, approve a 90-day extension of the Estrella Mountain Ranch Parcel 9.8 final plat approval, extending the approval date to November 22nd, 2016. Item 6.5, approve a 90-day extension of the West Calistoga Drive map of dedication approval, extending the approval date to November 22nd, 2016. Item 6.6, number 1, approve a request from Troy Charles DeVos, agent for Quick Trip Corporation, DBA, Quick Trip number 446 for an acquisition of control for Series 10 liquor license number 10074069, located at 550 North Dysart Road, Goodyear, Arizona, generally located north of the intersection of Dysart Road and Van Buren Street. And number 2, approve a request from Troy Charles DeVos, agent for Quick Trip Corporation, DBA Quick Trip number 1401, for an acquisition of control for Series 10 liquor license number 10075880, located at 575 North Estrella Parkway, Goodyear, Arizona, generally located at the east side of Estrella Parkway south of the I-10 interchange. Item 6.7, approve the modifications to the intergovernmental agreement between the City of Goodyear and the Arizona Department of Revenue regarding the uniform administration, licensing, collection, and auditing of transaction privilege tax, use tax, severance tax, jet fuel excise and use tax, and rental occupancy taxes imposed by the state or cities or towns.
Thank you. Does anyone from the public wish to remove an item from the consent agenda? Does anyone on the council wish to remove an item from the consent agenda? Councilman Paseo, a question or?
No, I'd like to remove 6.5 and 6.6.
6.5 and 6.6. Okay.
And I just have a general quick question for 6, I believe it's 7.
Just want to ask the question.
On 6.7, but no, I want the other 2 pulled.
You want a representation?
Yes.
All right, then let's just go ahead and vote for the ones that you don't want off the table.
Okay.
So could I have a motion for 6.4, 6.7? Where are we here? 6.2, 6.3, 6.4, and 6.7. Could I have a motion, please, and a second?
So move.
Did I get them all?
It's 6-1.
All right, 6-1. Let's do it again. 6-1, 6-2, 6-3, 6-4, 6-7. Did I get it that time? Okay, do I hear a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
I heard a motion from, was it you, Vice Mayor? Yeah. From Vice Mayor Loretano and a second from Councilman Campbell. Open for discussion. So which one do you want? Oh, let's vote on it first. All right, so could I had a second, and I had a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Vice Mayor Loretano.
Aye.
Councilmember Osborne.
Aye.
Councilmember Pizzillo.
Aye.
Councilmember Campbell.
Aye.
Councilmember Homan.
Aye.
Mayor Lord.
Aye.
Passes 6-0.
All right, let's start with 6.5. Recommendation one. So, okay.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Just to give you a brief presentation. Now to clarify, 6.5 is on Calistoga Drive.
The 2 are related, correct?
Yes, well, 6.4 and 6.5 are related. And 6.6 is a different item. But I assume we do want to discuss the 9.8 in Calistoga.
I probably messed up on, but that's all right.
Oh, I
6.5.
always mess up too on things. So is there any way you can kind of cover, even though?
Absolutely.
All right, I think that's the best way. All right, Joe?
6.5 is the key. Really, I don't have an issue with 6.6. So
It doesn't matter if there's a little
Okay.
part on well, it's cleared up.
Okay.
So.
All right, thank you. Parcel 9.8 is located in Estrella Mountain Ranch along Calistoga Drive, next to existing parcel 9.4. The proposal is to split 38 acres into 106 single-family lots. This final plat was originally approved in January, but we've been working on an issue with Newland Communities regarding crossing the southwest gas easement, which is on the east portion of the property here. There's a, I believe it's a 50-foot wide gas easement, and a water line has to cross it. And when we approved the final plat, we asked for verification that they approved it, and it has been taking some time between Southwest Gas, Newland Communities, and city staff working together. They are out there grading. We did issue them a mass grading permit, which is typical of this type of process. And that's, I'll stop the presentation there and answer any questions, and Pete Tyke from Newland Communities is also available for questions.
Thank you, Kate. My problem's not necessarily with the project. My problem's with the process. The original extension has expired August 9th. And it's my understanding that you can still get around it because of an application date being filed. But to me, what's the value of having a deadline if you can circumvent it with an application? I guess this bothered me last time when it come before me. To me, it's like hiring somebody to do some construction work at my house. A due date is, say, July 1st, and then they can't make it because they show up and say, oh, I had all the equipment here. You know, I got some people got sick. I didn't have them here. I got a problem with the process. I got a problem with when it expires. Now, if you come before the expiration date, you know, to me, because I think the application itself, having an application filed, really nullifies the value of having an extension date. To me, it just doesn't make any sense. So I think I'm more, you know, bothered with the problem. When did they file the actual application?
It looks like it's dated June 28th, the application.
And then that even raises more questions for me. If it was in June, why didn't staff bring it before us, before it expired August 9th? If they didn't think it was going to make the... I guess what it boils down to me, expiration date's an expiration date. And from my perspective, Mayor, I would hopefully at some point we take a look at having some teeth in it. If we've got to extend the time period because the period we currently have doesn't work, that's okay. But I just got a problem voting to extend something that's expired, even though there's an out, which to me kind of circumvents the process, in my humble opinion, having an application date. That's where I have the problem.
Was there a problem during the time we were off?
Thank you, Mayor. And one, I do want to clarify that the city code is clear that as long as we receive the request for an extension before the expiration date, the city code states that the final plat will remain in effect until council acts on it. So the city code allows us this process. So if council wants us to look into that with city code changes, we'll certainly do that. And I don't know all the details, but I believe with submitting June 28th, by the time staff routed it, we were starting to hit on the summer break period, and so we had to wait till the August 22nd.
And I understand there is a way of allowing it to be approved, so it's not. If somebody on the outside's reading it and sees it expired and doesn't understand all the nuances to the fact that the application, where they would say is, you're extending something that's expired, you know, and you get one of those, you know, type of looks. So I just wish that either we extend it at some point to make it reasonable, but to me, why have an expiration date if it really has no teeth? And you can circumvent it by filing the application. So that's where I have a problem, not so much with the project. I don't have a problem with the project. I understand that the gas line, or they're working through that, so it's nothing on Newland's part that's holding it up. But I got a problem with our process itself in there. So I just bring it to your attention. I don't want to make a deal on it here, but in the future, if these things come before us and we have them expired, I just put them on notice there that I've got a problem with that. So.
I think we need other councils to address that. Councilman Campbell?
I do have maybe a suggestion, since they were within our regulations, that perhaps if we get another one of these coming in right before break, perhaps if you let council know you got this and we're not able to act on it in the next 2 weeks before we go on vacation, so that we know it's in the pipeline, because it was legal. And while I wouldn't look at it that we're extending it, because they did apply to, they're doing everything right. So, but I do understand Joe's concern. Had they not filed at a reasonable time, then I think we would have more reason to change it. But as long as they did it early on, and it is hard to route it through staff to get it ready for our council meeting, and we left, what, July 12th or something?
About right, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't leave, but whenever we were supposed to leave. So it's really hard to do that, but thanks, Katie.
Vice Mayor?
Thank you, Katie. I think the point has been very well made that, when we read this, someone else reading it might think there's a problem. Maybe on the staff report, we could add in, and I was looking through it again, because when I read the letter, I saw the dates. Maybe just on the staff report, we add in the letter that, Newland filed so if someone does pull up the public records, they filed it appropriately on the 28th to stay the time. And I think that might help explain it if somewhere else to reading it.
Thank you.
Anybody else, any comment? It wasn't anything that concerned me. We've had this in the past. It's very difficult when you're looking at different utilities and different processes. It isn't as easy as most of them are. And so when you're doing infrastructure, this can happen. But certainly if it irritates a council person and they really don't like it, well then, if there's a way that we can soften that problem, then maybe, like they said, a certain announcement made, council's going on break, and this is the reason, so, okay? But I just want to thank Newland. We're happy they're there. We're happy they're going to be building some more homes, and so thank you, Katie. All right, so now at 6.6.
And I don't know if did you mean 6.4 and 6.5?
I meant 6.4 and 5.
And
So
90
really, I
is
have no
California.
questions for 6.6.
Okay.
I hit the wrong two.
Okay. All right, we're all set. Well, then, do we have a motion and a second on those?
No, Mayor, you still need a motion and second.
I'm sorry, you'll have to tell me because I've lost track again.
Yeah, you need a motion and a second
I
for the
just
two
asked
items.
for it. Okay, I was right. Thank you for confirming that. A motion, please?
So move. Second.
A motion by Councilman Campbell and a second by Vice Mayor Lortano. Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Osborne?
Aye.
Councilmember Pizzillo?
Aye.
Councilmember Campbell?
Aye.
Councilmember Homan?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Loretano?
Aye.
Mayor Lord?
Aye.
Passes 6-0.
Okay. So now we're on 7.1. Where are we here? 7.1, is that where we're at? Mm-hmm. Okay, let's go to the business. I'd like council to refrain again from asking questions until the staff presentations are complete and there's a motion on the table. So the first item is to consider approving Series 12 liquor license for the Lucky Buddha Asian Restaurant. City Clerk Marie Scott to present. Marie?
Good evening, Mayor Lord and council members. The item before you is to consider a new Series 12 liquor license for Lucky Buddha Asian Restaurant, and it's generally located at the northwest corner of Litchfield Road and Indian School. Lucky Buddha opened on June 5th, and it currently has an interim permit that was approved through the Arizona Department of Liquor License and Control. The Beijing Chinese cuisine restaurant was in the location prior to Lucky Buddha. And a Series 12 liquor license is for restaurants and they cannot be transferred, so that's why the applicant is requesting a new Series 12 liquor license. And that concludes my presentation.
Thank you. All right, and are there any speaker cards?
No, Mayor.
Okay, would anybody in the audience like to speak? All right, could I please have a motion and a second to approve the request from the Walin Lao agent for the Lucky Buddha Asian Restaurant, LLC, for the new Series 12 liquor license, number 12078A698, located at 14270 West Indian School Road, Suite C1, Goodyear, Arizona.
So moved.
Second.
I heard a motion for Councilman Pizzillo and a second by Councilman Osborne. Open for council discussion. Yes, Councilman Pizzillo.
Is the owner here?
Yes, she is.
Just wanted to say welcome aboard. Looking forward, and hopefully you have much success.
I don't think she.
Oh, can you hear me? Just want to welcome you aboard, and hope you have much success in your business here. That's all. Well, thank you for coming.
Okay, could I have a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Pizzillo,
Aye.
Councilmember Campbell,
Aye.
Councilmember Homan,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Loretano,
Aye.
Councilmember Osborne,
Aye.
Mayor Lord,
Aye.
passes 6-0.
Good. All right, the next item is 7.2, and it's a public hearing to consider a special use permit for Verizon Wireless Communication Facility in Monopalm. So I'm going to open the public hearing. Hello, Alex. Planner 2, Alex Latinsky, will present.
Hello, thank you, Mayor, members of council. Welcome back. The first
Thank you.
item, the first item that I have for you tonight is a cell tower located in Palm Valley Medical Plaza on the southwest corner of 136th Drive and McDowell Road. It is a monopalm cell tower. The unit and the support equipment will be located in a landscape island. Excuse me, and utilize one space in the parking lot. The parking that's out there right now is the minimum required spaces for the plaza. So the applicant is required to replace the space in the site. And if we look at the site plan, I can zoom in a little bit. So here's the tower and the facility. The new space will be cut out of the existing parking lot island on the east side of the lot. All setback requirements and zoning ordinance requirements have been satisfied. We did hold an alternative citizen review, so postcards were sent out in advance before the planning commission notifications were due out. We did have one resident call, kind of concerned about the location and its adjacency to the hospital. We did let him know that we received a letter of support from Abrazo Health. We did also hear from Fire and PD that the hospital does have poor service on site, so it is beneficial to be at that location. And then the location on site does meet the setbacks that we do require per the ordinance. The Planning and Zoning Commission heard this item last week, August 17th. No one from the public was at the meeting or spoke against this item, and Commission recommended approval with a vote 5-1. Therefore, we recommend approval, and I can answer any questions.
Thank you, Alex. Are there any speaker cards?
No, Mayor.
Would anybody in the audience like to speak? All right, then I'm going to close the public hearing. Could I have a motion and a second to approve the special use permit to allow the installation of proposed Verizon wireless communication facility to include a 60-foot tall monopalm and support equipment on the property located at 13657 West McDowell Road, subject to stipulations? Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I heard a motion by Councilman Holman and a second by Councilman Campbell. Open for council discussion.
I have one question.
Councilman Osborne.
Thank you, Alex. First of all, I don't know that this happened before, and I didn't notice. You are now our planner 2. Congratulations. I did have one question. You said one planning and zoning commissioner voted against this. Was there a reason?
Yes, thank you, Mayor.
Well, there was a reason, but what was it?
Councilmember Osborne. One of our commissioners is trying to get applicants to utilize a more artistic way of putting up these cell towers. So
Instead of the monopalm?
Instead of the monopalms, he's trying to enforce a more unique, artistic way of doing it.
Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Any other questions? Yes,
I
Councilman
would like
Campbell.
to comment that these cell towers are needed because we have areas in our city that we're having difficulty getting a clear signal, or we're dropping signals. So I appreciate them wanting to put one, and especially in that hospital, because recently I was in there trying to use my cell phone and it did not work. I had to actually leave the ER and go and stand out in the middle of the parking lot so that I could call, and I have Verizon. So I'm delighted to see that this is coming in. I think it's going to be a benefit to the residents.
Yes, Vice Mayor?
I'll second exactly what Councilmember Candle, because I had the joy of going to the emergency room over the break as well with my daughter, and I couldn't use my Verizon phone to call Dad. So, yeah, I think this is great, and it will help the hospital, the patients, and the family there.
Councilman Osborne and I are on the hospital board, and it is a frustrating situation for the hospital staff. So I think this is a good one to vote for. So let's do it. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you very much, Alex. 7.3 on the business item is to consider approving the preliminary plat for Australia Mountain Ranch Parcel 3.14. Planner, Alex, you're going to stay up here and present again. Go ahead, Alex.
All right. Thank you, Mayor. Parcel 3.14, which I like to call Parcel Pi, is located on the northwest corner of Estrella Parkway and San Miguel Drive. It is just to the west of it is the Corget Wash. On the north of the site is some existing residential and a pad with a church zoning in the PAD. To the east and south of this site, you can see the outline of this easement coming through. There's a 200-foot electric easement and then a 50-foot gas easement that cuts through the site. And then if we pull up the plat, Newland has decided to utilize the single-family detached product, which is permitted by the ordinance, which was approved in 2007. The entire parcel is about 14.43 acres, but with the easements, about 10 acres is usable. The subdivision creates 44 single-family lots with minimum lot sizes of 50 by 100 feet. Tract E in the center will be utilized as a recreation center with a planned tot lot in Ramada. And then I did want to note that the parcel is located approximately a half mile from the fire station 182 out there. And the response times vary from 0 to 4 minutes. This concludes my presentation.
Thank you very much. Are there any speaker cards?
No, Mayor.
Would anybody in the audience like to speak? All right. Then could I have a motion and a second to approve the request for the preliminary plat for Australia Mountain Ranch, Parcel 3.14, subject to stipulation. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I heard a motion from Vice Mayor Lortana, a second from Councilman Stipp. Open for council discussion. Councilman Campbell.
So I have a question for the applicant, please. Hi, Mr. Tykert. Welcome. In looking at the exhibit map where the fire station and where Parcel 314 is proposing to be built, can you tell me how many homes are in that area?
I'm sorry, Mayor and Councilmember.
Just a guess.
Are you speaking of the new parcel?
No, I know the new parcel is 44 lots.
Oh, I'm sorry. We're just finishing a parcel that's just across the street from the fire station, which was 126 lots.
All right.
And then to the north of that, I'm going to venture, it's been a while, about 16 years, so I should get it within one or two, but I'm going to say there's about 100 lots in there.
100, okay.
And then to the west of Estrella Parkway, probably another 300.
Okay. All right. Will this finish this area, this parcel? Will you be done in this particular area?
We're going to be done for a while, but if you look where your water campus is,
okay,
and then go south, you'll see kind of that kind of an S that stretches out from San Miguel to the east. From there south down to the wash, which is roughly, I'd say, a couple thousand feet. We're looking at planting some lots in there as well.
Okay. All right, that's all I needed to know. Thanks, Pete.
Great. Welcome back, everybody.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Yes. Vice Mayor?
I don't really have a question, but I do want to say I'm very glad that Australia's filling in, that we're getting some of those, interior parcels filled in. And just because this is going to come up again, the fire station issue, they've been great partners. Everyone's working on it, just so the public knows that it's on everybody's radar and we're all working together. It's a great partnership. So I think so before people start saying things, and, you know, I haven't seen any bad faith. I've seen great partnerships there. And this is really going to help a couple things with our community that people don't realize who don't live up there. One is obviously the commercial. This is going to help bring commercial and maintain commercial so we don't lose businesses up there. It's also going to help our schools, because when we get more people up there, more families, that's more funding for our schools. And a lot of people don't realize that that is actually a need. You have to keep growing your community if you want to grow your schools and you want to have top quality education. So I'm going to vote for it.
Councilman Councilman
That's close
Pizzillo.
enough.
It's automatic when I look down there.
Listen, I know.
We want you to be Pizzillo.
Yes.
Keep going.
Listen, I appreciate putting in your presentation, especially on preliminary plats, because that's one thing I will be looking at in the future is the response time from a fire station. And the fact you put that in there, I really appreciate that, because at the time of the preliminary plat, that's really where that question should be asked is, can we service it and what's the response time? And the fact that it's 0 to 4 minutes from it is great. So I really appreciate that you putting that in there, because you beat me to asking that question. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, let's vote on it. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you very much, Alex. All right, we're at 7.4 to consider a replat of Lot 9 of the Australia Falls Regional Shopping Center. Steve Caraccia will present. Steve?
Good evening, Mayor, Council members. This is a replat of Lot 9, Australia Falls Regional Shopping Center. And a regional shopping center is about 147 acres here at Bullard and Mcdowell. Commercial zoning was approved in 2000. We had the original 9-lot subdivision that was approved in 2007. Since that time, we've had the Harkins Theater. That site plan was approved last year, April. And with that building going up, the applicant has decided to create a specific lot for Harkins. And that's the subject of this replat tonight. Lot 10 here is the site of the Harkins. With the creation of Lot 10, it also created Lot 11 here that it's designated for future commercial, as well as this Tract A that is designated primarily for retention. Staff has reviewed this replat of Lot 9, the creation of the 2 lots and the tract. We do find it consistent with the PAD and with our subdivision regulations. As such, we are recommending approval subject to the one stip in the staff report.
Thank you, Steve. Are there any speaker cards?
No, Mayor.
Would anybody in the audience like to speak? Could I then have a motion and a second to approve the replat of Lot 9, Astoria Falls Regional Shopping Center, subject to stipulations?
So moved.
Second.
I heard a motion from Councilman Osborne and a second from Councilman Pizzillo.
There we go.
Open for council discussion. Councilman Campbell.
Can you tell me what the stipulation is?
Mayor, council members, the stipulation just requires compliance with the stipulations of the 2000 zoning.
Oh, that's it?
That's it.
Okay, all right. I thought there was a hidden something in here somewhere that I couldn't find. All right, and in the Track A, is that's they're plotting that, right?
Yes,
now,
ma'am.
Is it big enough to put a store in? Is it big enough to put a building? Or is it just a parking lot? I mean, I don't know how big it is. I can't tell by the map.
Mayor, council members, that tract is about a little over maybe 2 acres. I don't know at this time.
And it's at the back of the theater, right? The front is facing inside? Because I've driven that road a million times. And
yes, the frontage of the theater is inward. So
on the inside, and the track will be on the back side.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's all I needed to know. I just was trying to get my bearings of how it was going to work in the with the actual building. Okay, thank you very much.
Any other discussion? Well, I'm pleased to see this. It's nice to see some little red marks on that piece piece of area there. So I'm just thrilled, and I think all of us are really thrilled as we drive by and we see as the building is more and more towards final. And so it's exciting for us. So, all right. The discussion is finished. Let's all vote for this. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you very much, Steve.
Tommy Bahamas, tilted kilt, arrogant butcher, Nordstrom's. I'm sorry, excuse me, my throat.
7.5 on the business items to consider a cooperative agreement with the Bureau of Reclamation for the management of the wetlands pilot study. Water Resource Manager Mark Holmes to present. Welcome, Mark.
Mayor, Lord, members of the council, thank you very much. It's exciting to be here. I just wanted to point out that one of the co-presenters, Deborah Toslin, is a program manager for the United States Bureau of Reclamation. She will not be joining us this evening due to an injury she sustained.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
I think she injured her toe, so not too serious, but she sends her best. Staff recommendation, this again is for a new cooperative agreement between the United States Bureau of Reclamation and the City of Goodyear. And the staff recommendation is to authorize the city manager or designee to execute any and all documents necessary to enter into a cooperative agreement between the United States Bureau of Reclamation and the city to continue the Concentrate Management Wetlands Pilot Study and execute a fiscal year 17 budget transfer of up to $100,000 needed to extend the first of the 3 years, to expend, the first of 3 years for funding for the program. I did want to give you some background information on existing United States Bureau of Reclamation and city projects. The first I'll discuss really brief is the pilot Brine Wetland Project. This was the very first wetland that we constructed out at the Bullard Water Campus. It was completed in 2013. The next is an ongoing project. It's a cooperative agreement with the Bureau of Reclamation and the city. It's a Brine Wetland Feasibility Project, and it's estimated to be completed by September, October of this year. I'll touch on those real briefly. Just again, the Bullard Water Campus generates up to 500,000 gallons per year of brine concentrate that is discharged to the Goodyear Water Reclamation Facility, taking up valuable capacity at the plant. So the city's partnered with the Bureau of Reclamation since 2010, so 6 years, exploring alternative cost-effective methods for brine concentrate disposal. So the City of Goodyear and the Bureau first built the pilot brine project, wetland, in 2010. It was determined if the wetland could actually remove certain concentrations of regulated constituents within the city's brine. That included arsenic, fluoride, selenium, and nitrates. The pilot was successful. It demonstrated proof of concept, and the project again was completed in 2013. Here's just an image showing the current the wetland there, the 7 different wetlands at the Bullard Water Campus. This was soon after the media and the plant materials were in place. And the image on the right shows 7 different wetlands in 4 different trains indicated by the colors, the yellow, green, red, and blue, demonstrating different types of plant material and different types of soils or media. The current Brine Wetland Feasibility Study, this project was to analyze the following. Look within the City of Goodyear for the best location for a potential future brine wetland, develop an operations and a monitoring plan, develop a water blending strategy. This would be for the discharge of the wetlands, what additional water supplies may be needed ultimately to discharge into the Gila River, and then finally develop a 30% design concept report, which would look at the various costs and optimal configuration at that level of 30%. Again, the Brine Feasibility Study report will be completed by September, October of this year, and I'm hoping in the staff recommendation to come back before you and actually present these findings. I think you'll be very pleased with some of the recommendations. This is the new agreement now. This is the proposed agreement. It's being proposed for 3 years. It would expire September 30th of 2019. Again, at 2019, the parties can re-examine whether they want to extend this pilot extension or terminate at that time. The goals of this pilot, this cooperative agreement would be to determine wetland, media, or soils and plant replacement frequency. So if the city were to travel down and actually construct wetlands in the future, Would they last 10 years or 50 years or some time in between? Determine wetland media and plant toxicity. The plants absorb specific constituents I mentioned previously, and they could become toxic to environmental or have environmental concerns. So I want to look at those types of environmental concerns, evaluate those. Also, at some point when the wetlands become saturated or the plants become toxic, potentially look at what the disposal methods we preferred, whether it goes to a sanitary landfill or a toxic landfill. So we'll be determining those outputs. And then looking at determining the wetland sizing. We need 10 acres or 40 acres to actually build a build-out wetland configuration for build-out a board water campus, the RO facility. And then looking at how fast water can actually go through the wetlands. Can it process 1 million gallons a day, or can it process 500,000 gallons a day? Looking at those type of processes through the wetlands. And the goal would be to submit a final report within 30 days of completion of this activity in 2019. And again, this report would be a compendium actually to the Brine feasibility study. We're just in the process of completing, providing additional information for hopefully better recommendations. Okay, on to the budget. Reclamation estimates it would expend up to $50,000 per year over 3 years. The city estimates it would expend up to $50,000 per year over 3 years, indirect or indirect in-kind services. That'd be a total project budget cost of $300,000. The city's portion would be $150,000 over the course of 3 years. This would come in the form of direct funding, the first red asterisk. Right now we have $26,000 per year already approved and designated within the Water Resources Operation budget for water quality analysis, specific for the pilot wetland. The next would be $72,000, which would come in the form of in-kind or indirect for administration, management, operations, maintenance, and repairs of the pilot wetland, which we are currently operating and maintain the pilot right now. And with that, I would be happy to entertain any questions you may have.
Thank you, Mark. Nice presentation. Are there any speaker cards?
Oh, Mayor.
Would anybody in the audience like to speak? Could I then have a motion and a second to authorize the city manager or designee to execute any or all documents necessary to enter into the cooperative agreement between the United States Bureau of Reclamation and the city, the Concentration Management Wetlands Pilot Study, to execute FY17 budget transfers up to $100,000 needed to expend the first of the 3 years for funding of the program. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I heard a motion from Councilman Campbell and Vice Mayor Loretano. Open for.
that was Joe.
Oh, boy, Joe.
It was Bill.
You're getting it tonight. and Councilman Paseo. So we have a motion, we have a second. So let's open for conversation. Joe?
Mark, I really appreciate all the efforts to try to maximize our capacity at the same time, trying to, because water is obviously our goal. So anything you can do to stretch that out, because it starts getting very, very expensive as we start to get in and get the above water stuff that has to actually be, processed. So anything you can do to stretch that, I really appreciate it. So I appreciate the efforts. How is the committee that's looking at ways, is that still on track? The citizens looking at our water?
Yes, Conservation Committee, yes. We just had our second meeting. They just understood the water resources aspects of the city right now. You're still in that part where we're presenting information. So kind of the state of the city right now is what they're kind of learning.
Okay. Listen, I appreciate those efforts, because, again, this is going to get more and more expensive, as you know, as we go out to the later years. So, again, thank you for your efforts.
Thank you.
Vice Mayor Loretano?
I agree. This just looks like a great plan. I just have a question. Maybe it's something because of how you do it that you couldn't do. Is there any way to beautify, when I see all that green, but they're in boxes, is there any way to incorporate this type of water transfer into an area that we could beautify it and use it in another way as well?
That's a great question. You're stealing my thunder for when I come back before you, but I can give you a little teaser. Right now, the feasibility study is looking at the Maricopa County Parks, the Estrella Mountain Regional Park, as an area where the wetlands could beautify that and make it a point of destination. So you're right on spot with that question.
Very nice.
I'll hold my breath until we hear it.
Thank you.
On this side of the dais, any questions? All right.
Wait. I just want to thank you, Mark, for continuing this collaboration. And he does us proud. You really do. And seeing him in action at AMWA, I'm very proud that he's part of our city. And everyone at AMWA was quite excited to see this collaboration and being, innovative and creative on what we do with Brine and everything. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
All set? Okay, let's vote on this. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you very much, Mark. Well, that ends our meeting this evening. So is there any comments or accommodations, reports from our council? Except you all had a great vacation, huh?
Yes.
All right.
Wasn't long enough.
Does the city manager have anything to report?
Mayor, members of the council, I do have a couple of information items. One information item, one quick introduction. So I would bring attention to Mr. Adrian Hedden. He is reporting for the Arizona Republic. If you can stand and wave.
Oh, welcome.
So welcome. It's good to have the Republic here. And if you have an opportunity afterwards, he will stick around for a few minutes.
So he's agreed to stick around so we can, all right.
As I understand, yes.
Good, all right.
And I think until midnight, but I'm not sure. We'll confirm that. The other is just a reminder, APS is closing their offices this Friday as their last day. If you have an opportunity to go by and say hi, or rather bye, to those staff that have been there since 2001, many of them, you have an opportunity to do that. But they close officially at 5 p.m. this Friday, and it's been advertised in the lobby for several months. And they talk to the customers when they come up to the counter. Now, you may have noticed that there have been long lines lately, and that's really due to them closing a couple other offices first. Buckeye and Surprise, those payment centers are closed, so that's pushed some of the traffic our way. But I do want to let council know that over the weekend, so Friday at 5 p.m. when it closes, and then we'll be opening up 8 o'clock Monday morning. We'll be installing video surveillance equipment, minor workstation adjustments, computer workstations, a connectivity, etc. So we will have our staff over behind the counter. Now, they will not be taking APS payments, but they will be processing Goodyear payments. Staff has gone through cash handling because that was previously done by APS, Salt River Project. I worked there for a lot of years, so Freudian slip, I'm sure. But anyway, for 15 years, they've been taking payments. So now that our staff they've gone through that cash handling. APS has agreed to have a staff person there for the next week just to help out in any of the transitions that go on. So they'll be there, but they cannot take APS payments. So very clear that APS, they can't take payments after Friday, but city payments, absolutely. We continue to get the information out. It'll be in the In Focus again this Friday, August 31st, when that is planned to hit the homes. So we truly have been trying to get the information out. We've had it in the city bills, et cetera. So hopefully we'll work through this as swiftly as possible, but I just wanted to bring that to council attention.
Thank you.
That's all I have.
Thank you.
Quick question.
Yes.
I forgot, Brian. Originally, when APS came months ago to tell us, about closing this, did they say if we were going to have one of their kiosk payments, or was that only going to be in one, like in the 7-Elevens or Quick Trips? I forget now where the kiosks.
And actually, I'll have Doug address that since that's under my communications. Mr. Sandstrom, our finance director.
Thanks.
We will not be having a payment kiosk at City Hall. It will only be at Circle K's, Walmart's, and so on.
Okay, thank you.
That's it? Thank you very much, Brian. Council, do you have any inquiries of staff or the city manager?
Not right now.
No? Okay. Then future meeting will be a work session, a regular session on meeting on August 29th. So with that, this meeting's adjourned. Okay.